I'm talking to Turki al-Faisal, the Royal Prince of Saudi Arabia and the former chief of Saudi Arabian intelligence. Your Royal Highness, what is your opinion on the Iranian nuclear deal?
My government put out a statement saying that we welcome the accomplishment in Geneva as a first step in a comprehensive effort to remove all weapons of mass destruction from the Middle East, and not just from Iran. And that, of course, we also reserve our right to continue to work for using nuclear energy in peaceful manner.
I mean, Saudi Arabia also aspires to use nuclear energy.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. There have also been very critical voices from Saudi Arabian officials about the Iranian nuclear program and the deal. The Saudi ambassador to the UK said, before the deal was made, of course, that his country will not sit by idly to watch Iran to develop a nuclear weapon. And there have been voices saying that Saudi Arabia might develop itself a nuclear weapon in case Iran should achieve that, actually. Is this danger banned?
As I said, my government has looked upon this deal as a first step. But our aim is to have a comprehensive and total eradication of weapons of mass destruction, and not just nuclear weapons, from the Middle East. In that context, the Kingdom, along with the other members of the Arab League, have called for the establishment of a zone free of weapons of mass destruction in the Middle East. And we welcomed the 2010 NPT review conference in New York's decision to have a conference on the zone free of weapons of mass destruction that was supposed to be held last year in Helsinki, Finland. Unfortunately, at the last minute and before the meeting was to be held, the United States declared that there was not enough grounds for a successful meeting, and the meeting was postponed.
Right.
But the position for the Kingdom is that a zone free of weapons of mass destruction will meet all of the challenges of any attempts by any country in the area to develop a weapon of mass destruction.
Okay, but for this to happen, you would need a sort of comprehensive regional agreement on security, I assume, which of course would need to include Israel, right? Could you imagine Iran, Israel, and the Arab countries to work together on something like that?
Well, I've put out a paper through the Belfer Center in Harvard, in which I propose exactly that.
Okay.
And the first step in that program is for the United Nations 5 permanent members of the Security Council to issue a policy statement saying, for example, that according to the NPT review conference in 2010, supporting the idea of having a zone free of weapons of mass destruction, we, the 5 permanent members of the Security Council, want to have zone free of weapons of mass destruction in the Middle East. And for that to succeed, we offer the following guarantees. One is a guarantee to provide a nuclear security umbrella for all the members of the zone.
Who's going to provide that?
The 5 permanent members of the Security Council.
Okay.
The 5 nuclear powers, as they're called. And the second guarantee is that we will sanction any country in the zone that would be seen developing a weapon of mass destruction, including military sanction. And we, the 5 permanent members, give you, the members of the zone, the potential members of the zone, 5 years to solve all the issues between you in order to have the zone.
So would it be possible, because of course Israel would be a part of these negotiations.
Absolutely.
Would it be possible for Arab countries and Iran, of course, to negotiate with Israel before the Israel-Palestine conflict is solved?
Well, you have 5 years for the countries to resolve these issues,
Okay, so that would be
including the Palestinian issue, the withdrawal of Israeli troops from Syria, from Lebanon, etc., etc. And so I think that is a viable way of going about it, because remember, the 5 permanent members of the Security Council have all publicly stated that they support universal nuclear disarmament.
Of course, I mean, it sounds great, but
Fine.
I mean,
so it sounds great. Let's put it to the test.
I'm just wondering if there's still enough trust in the UN and what it can enforce, because it seems that it failed so far in Syria.
Yeah.
It failed to reach an Israel-Palestinian
And
agreement.
that's why we
It failed
refused.
many years to get an agreement with Iran. So I'm
Yeah,
a
well,
bit skeptical of you.
okay, you can be skeptical. I am more skeptical than anybody. But it is still something to ask of them to do. And then if they don't do it, they're not going to get a zone free of weapons of mass destruction. They're going to continue to have undeclared nuclear arsenal in Israel and attempts by Iran or other countries to develop nuclear weapons to balance the presence of nuclear arsenal in Israel.
The weapon exports from Germany to Saudi Arabia are very controversial here in this country. Can you tell us anything which might calm the discussion down a bit? Can you?
Well, first of all, I know nothing about the details of an arms deal between Germany and Saudi Arabia.
There was a news report a couple of weeks ago that said that last year Saudi Arabia was the biggest customer of German weapons.
I really don't
very
know,
upset
and
about
I
that.
would be remiss to tell you something not based on knowledge. So, but you can ask that of the Saudi embassy here, and you can get an official opinion.
What's your opinion? Are we
my
right
opinion,
to discuss
my opinion
this
is that we have had a long-standing and friendly relationship between Saudi Arabia and Germany. If Saudi Arabia wants to buy German weapons, then I think Germany should be willing to sell these weapons to Saudi Arabia. And you know, all these arms deals, they have conditions and they have restrictions on them. The use of the weapons, where it is used, how it is used, etc. So there are safeguards in any arms deal, not just between Germany and Saudi Arabia, but between any country and any other country.
Thank you very much,
you.
Your Highness.